I believe that John Osher has a very refined process for starting and building companies, and from the way he's able to learn from his past experiences that allow him to take advantage of opportunities that are presented. It seems that he focuses on the product first and then builds his company with the people that he needs in order to support that product. What he does then is he builds the process around it, and that seems to be one of his areas of weaknesses, in my opinion. By focusing on being realistic about his products, it allows him to evaluate each situation with a more critical eye than most entrepreneurs would. I would describe John Osher as a serial entrepreneur. He has this innate desire to create and innovate. Every time he was to start a company and wants to grow it, he would do so until he would be able to sell it as an intricate process. Then he would look to take a break and reflect on what might be next for him. I believe that the Spin Brush product is a good idea because it is opening an oversaturated market, allowing him to break into and address a need that consumers have not yet had met. One of the problems I would have is that this market has been dominated by large companies such as Crest, Oral-B, Gillette. These companies are a lot more apt to have the R&D money to create such a product. There are some restrictions, though, that are worrisome for me in the fact that he is trying to get a product that would retail for $5 to $6 depending on the situation. I believe that he will have a huge constraint in creating a product cheap enough and allow for large enough margins to come back. $5 in Walmart would be a huge hit to his ability to create a profit, although it would generate a large number of sales. So it seems like he's going for the quantity rather than the quality of the margin. I believe that the larger companies have not yet done something like SpinRush because they have the opportunity to create such higher margins with their high-end electronic toothbrushes. This product is direct competition to that, even though they are already creating money and revenue with their normal traditional toothbrushes. They are allowed a huge profit margin on their electronic products how they are. Frankly, I would not evaluate SpinBrush as a very reputable company, period. The way I would go about evaluating this company would be difficult because if you're looking for a retail price of $6 or $5, you need to make sure that your distributor or the retailer has an opportunity to create profit themselves. Generally, they're looking for 45 to 55% markups. This means that you would need to be able to get your product in the hands of your retailers for less than $3 per unit. Although they were selling over 6,000 units per day at one point, still creating this product for merely $3 per unit and still creating a large enough profit for yourself would be very difficult. I believe that John should sell this company to one of the larger manufacturers and rely on the notion that his product is huge competition for one of their leading lines of revenue. If John does not accomplish this ability to create competition for those larger companies, then there will not be much point in him continuing. I realize that there are other options that he could pursue in continuing to fine-tune his manufacturing. However, I believe that that is more expensive than it would be worth for him to pursue. In analyzing this case, I put myself in the shoes that John would have in thinking about how much work it would cost me to create this product and get it out for everyone. I loved his plan of taking very realistic approaches to how he would begin his company, keeping his staff to a minimum and directly distributing to the retailers in order to create that opportunity for margin, which is such a huge point of emphasis in this particular product. some of the questions that I would have learned from this case would be to realistically look at what prices are for your product, and then deciding on if this product is viable by how much market share you would be able to get. I often don't think of that. I really like to think about the needs that a client would have or that the consumer has, but by looking at the market share that I can actually break into would be a great step forward in my ability as an entrepreneur.